Guys, it's your boy AD back with another video. Now today's video we're gonna be doing right Naruto was the Overlord part 4 I believe. But yeah, anyways, without further ado, get this video to 40 likes for the next part, and yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Let me know what you thought of this one. So yeah, I don't know if this one is good or not, to be honest, because yeah, I didn't go into too much details into this one. So yeah, just fair warning there. Anyways, so far than you, let's just get the video started.
Yeah! I will not let you destroy my
We saw this wife off with Kaguya Otsutsuki slowly floating down from the rubble of the moon, as then she lands in front of Naruto. I don't know what last name I should give him at this point. I mean, I guess Naruto Uzumaki, but yeah. Anyways, as then he says, "So who are you?" As she says, "I'm Kaguya Otsutsuki, the goddess of all chakra, and you, Naruto, I have decided to make you my husband due to how powerful you are, and since you're the overlord." And as then Naruto sigh, as then he just tell her to follow him, as she basically follows him to the portal, as they basically appear in the great tomb of Nazarick, and yeah, like the throne room basically. And then they basically went on to explain everything that happened and all that crap, as then yeah, we see all the girls realizing that Kaguya wants to basically join. So we basically starts releasing a lot of killing intent, as yeah, as basically they were basically like you know how in animes and shit, like when there's like one guy, then like a bunch of girls are after him, and they're like basically are fighting each other and shit. Yeah, they basically starts fighting, but then they basically all got hit by a flying pen from Kushina, as she was standing over them with fire basically going around her, as then she says, "Anyone else want to fight over my baby now boy Naruto?" As then basically all of them basically cowered in fear. As we skip a week later, as Naruto was in the throne room sitting down while all the four guardians was basically kneeling down, as then Demier suggested that they basically revealed the great tomb of Nazarick and its power, like some of its power anyway. And basically they just let them try and attack us, but then showed out the world that we were basically not to be messed with. As then basically, and also we can get them as like the people that attack us, we can just capture him and basically use them as for all sort of experimentation. As then Naruto agrees, as yeah, and then he basically says come in. As then we see Shizune appear into the room. Flashback, we see basically Shizune was walking down the alleyway at the time of the attack of the Konoha and all that shit. As then Naruto appears in front of her saying black hole, as she basically got absorbed into a black hole, and then he made a clone of her, as now she's basically Naruto's personal like servant and all that shit. Yeah, she's basically fully loyal to him and just acting as Tsunade's apprentice and whatnot. Anyways, then we go back to present. We see basically Naruto telling her to basically go to Tsunade and do something, as then she disappears. She appears in the room and picks up a lot of paperwork, including one in particular as like on top of the whole thing, as she basically goes into the Hokage office and says, "Lady Hokage, I have have an important document to, as she basically gives her the paper that she added. As then Tsunade opens it and starts reading it. As it says, there's a weird building that appeared out of nowhere, and I think we should send some people basically to investigate it, because we need money to build a village, and the people that were sent there said that they basically saw some statues made out of gold and some other things that were made of spacey stuff, so there should be a lot of money in that building. As then Tsunade says, okay, I will send a team of ambos. As then we do a day time skip, as a tuning basically bursts to the door, like to the Hokage's door and shit, as and says they were all killed basically within a single day. As the Hokage basically was Tsunade actually, but she basically was like, how could that happen and shit, and then yeah. As then they basically Tsunade was really shocked about how would that happen, but they basically decided to cover it up and shit. But then there was like a giant explosion. As then they basically went outside to see a dragon and two dark elves basically riding on his back. As they jumped down off of the dragon's back, and then they jumped down saying, I am Oa, but I am Oa, and the other is Maui, and Lord Naruto sent us. Well, Lord Ainz, but yeah, I'm just gonna say Naruto because yeah, it says confusing, I guess. But yeah, as Tsunade says, why would he do that? As basically says, like she says, why would he do that? Is he attacking us? As then Oa says, no, you got it all wrong. You see, you attacked the Great Two of Nazarick. No, yeah. Like basically, she says, you attacked the Great Two of Nazarick, which Lord Ainz consider as his, calls it his home. So he's now in a very bad mood and has sent us to basically tell you that if the Kage of this village doesn't come to apologize, we will destroy the whole basically in a fire. As proof, we will kill everyone here. As Mari basically slams her staff into the ground, and as then there was a giant earthquake, and the earth basically cracked open, and all the Umbus and other people, like other Gijoni and stuff that was surrounding them, it was 100 to be exact, basically were falling to the ground and die. As then she basically hit it again, as the ground closed it up, and Tsunade basically came and says, we will go and apologize to your master and shit. As then they left. We skip to the next day. The Leaf Elite Ninjas was jumping from tree to tree, going to the Leaf Ninja is like the best elite of the Leaf Ninja. Kashi and all them, Guy and everybody, like really important and strong and shit. They were going there with Tsunade to the land newly remade Whirlpool Village. As then they basically got there to see two maids bowing down. As then they had like a similar interaction as in canon to like the overlord one, except that nobody really said about the whole teleportations thing. But yeah, anyways, as the two maids basically got bowing down, as then they had the interaction, then after that they basically were granted entrance inside of the Great Tomb of Nazarick. As they basically got in, and the interaction goes pretty much the same as with Jerkniff, like from Overlord, for some reason you haven't watched that, I don't know why. But I'm gonna try to go over it briefly. Basically, they enter and Tsunade was like, "Oh, we're sorry and shit." As then basically, what's it called? Things happen with like Demiurge saying using his powers to basically make them bow down. As Naruto basically says, "Oh, it wasn't my intention to make you, what's it called, look bad and shit." And yeah, except what's it called? The only difference is that basically when they made the little, I guess you can say, what's it called, trust or whatever, like alliance. It was like they didn't say a great empire. It was like basically the Great Hidden Leaf Village. So yeah. Anyways, basically, yeah, they basically went back to the villages after apologizing and all that shit. And yeah, and when they were like, about to leave, Naruto basically said that he's trying to do something soon enough. As then basically the leaf asks what it is, which Naruto explained, and they said they were gonna help. But yeah, as then they left to go back to the villages. As we skip a couple weeks later, we go to the freaking land of fire, like the Henry village, as we see people are getting ready to go fight against the Hidden Cloud village. As then we see the Hidden Snow village people, which were all villagers and scientists and stuff like that. They were getting ready to basically hide in case this overlord wins the war. As then we see there was a basically big camp opening. As we go on a flashback, we go over to Kage. A tuning came in, basically not really a tuning. It was more like a demon. It was like one of Naruto's demon. Well, Demiurge's demon actually. He came in and was like, no, actually, no, not the demon, my bad. I meant to say Albedo, sorry, I keep messing up. But yeah, Albedo basically came in and was like, give us the land of snow or we will launch war against you. As like Kage was like, hell no, you're a weak village, you don't even have any powers and shit, you don't even have lands, would easily crush you. As then they basically declare war. As the Kage was about to try and attack her, but she released some kind of aura that basically froze him, so he really couldn't do shit. But yeah, back to the present. As the camp, like a giant door opened from the camp, as it opened to reveal Tsunade and a skeleton being the overlord. As he looked up to see a giant army from the Hidden Cloud. As then 70,000 ninjas from the armies started. The 70,000 ninjas from the giant army of 200,000 ninjas started to rush at Naruto. Then Tsunade and hold up. Alright. Basically like Tsunade and her ninjas were about to attack, but Naruto raised his hand. As then a giant beam of blue light went up in the sky. But if you look closer, like close enough, you would see it was a lot of magic circles over magic circles. As then the air got really cold. As then a wave of darkness came from Naruto. As then of the 70,000 ninjas basically died, like pretty much dropped to her gone dead instantly. As Tsunade looked at him in complete horror and had the same expression as Dretnev from Canon, from the Overlord. As then we see a little black ball from the sky, but as we get closer, it got basically way bigger till it was the size of a meteorite. Like this, you know how, man can submit meteorite and shit. Yeah, it's basically that size. As then it basically crashed into the corpses of the dead army, as it became a liquid of some sort. As then it happens, five giant goats appear without any eyes, and was getting like starting to basically uh rampage, as they didn't even have any eyes, and they had like 3 to 5 mouth. So yeah, it was kind of a weird thing, but it was goats nonetheless. Anyways, I'm pretty sure you guys should know what that looks like. Yeah, and the goats were like bigger, if not as big or fuck. The goats were as big, if not bigger, than the Ninetales, as they started to rampage in the hitting Cloud Village's army. As then we skip after the battle. The Raikage dropped into his couch, as it was a complete massacre. Like everybody dies from the Cloud Village fight. So yeah, like really easily, like super easy actually. As all of them died, and Raikage managed to escape using his Lightning Cloak too, and basically getting the fuck out of there. As then he drops to his couch saying, "We were fools to think we could fight this monster." As he basically sent a scroll to Naruto, giving him access to the land of snow. As now the land of snow is part of the Whirlpool village. As we now see Naruto. Oh yeah. I can't remember if I did this the first part or not, but now Minato and Kushina are kind of like half devils, so they won't really be all about protect humans and shit like that. So yeah, they're cool with killing humans. They don't really try and stop Naruto about that. Anyways, as then basically they got part of the whirlpool and shit, and we see Naruto went back to the tomb. As when he got there, he enters the room to see Albedo. His he enters his room to see Albedo kneeling down. As then she says, "Welcome home, my lord." As then Naruto says, "Great to be back." And then he says, "What are you doing here?" As she basically got up and says, "I was wondering if you would like a homemade meal, or basically a nice, like, relaxing bath, or perhaps you have me." Well, she was like brushing like crazy, as Naruto accidentally freaking thought about basically, you know, the third offer. As then he kind of got like his mind kind of got taken over by his desires, I should say, because he was in his human form. As he basically grabbed her and started kissing her instantly. As then he basically started to pull her, like he started kissing her and shit, and they were like moving back and shit. And then they basically got next to the bed, and basically he started to pull her dress off and shit, and his clothes basically vanished because they were made of magic and shit, I think. As then he basically pushed her on the bed and moved her underwears and shit out the way, and started to basically lick that shit, and yeah, and finger as well. As then stuff was basically getting interesting, I guess you can say. But then Kaguya shouted, and Ora came to the room and realized what was happening, and glared at Albedo for taking advantage of her position as the overseer of the overseer of the Floor Guardian and shit, and getting to be more of Isaac most of the time and shit like that. As they basically got her, and yeah, but then they basically jumped on the bed, basically, and basically, yeah, things happen. And yeah, we skip next to the next day. Albedo, Kaguya, Shachi, Ora, and all them were on the bed, as Naruto like they were all on the Naruto's bed, basically passed out. As Naruto and woke up and basically look around and then realize what was happening, like how they were passed out and shit. And he basically had an amused look on his face, and yeah, as basically, you remember how he was able to basically manage to basically go so hard on them that he basically managed to knock out like he knocked them out from exhaustion. Even Albedo, who basically specifies in the defense slash stamina and all that shit. As we see all the frog, we skip a bit later. We see all the Frog Guardians kneeling in front of Naruto slash Ainz Ugon, as he basically was sitting in his throne. As he says, "My guardians, you have served me well. From today onward, Nazarick shall hide in the shadows no more. Today shall be known as the founding date of the Whirlpool Village." As then, the leader of the Pleiades, like, the maid. So yeah, she basically came up, made as Naruto would say, what is it? As basically she says, "My lord, it appears that to be a problem, and that is basically, oh gosh, I'm sorry. Anyways, basically he says there appears to be a problem, and basically there's people that have came here as basically to talk to you and shit. As we see one person come to the room, as Naruto had no expression on his face due to him being in his skeleton form, like overlord form. But in his mind, basically, like, he would think to himself, what the hell is he doing here? For basically, like, what the hell is he doing here? And why is he here so soon? But I guess I will have to talk to him sooner or later anyway. So I guess I'll have to just talk to him right now. But this is my show going off. If you guys liked it and enjoyed. Sorry about me basically stopping a lot. Really sorry about that. Anyways, yeah, without further ado, I'm gonna be out for now. Peace.